So I talked to Jay yesterday because he sent me over the forms.
April 23rd, regular meeting of King County Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Here.
Richard Valley.
Here.
Doug Verboon.
Here.
Rusty Robinson.
Here.
Richard Fagundes.
Here. 5 members are present. Would you all please rise for invocation from Pastor Tim Brown, First Presbyterian Church. Morning, Tim.
Good morning. Thank you. Would you pray with me? Our wise and gracious God, thank you for all that are gathered here today. Thank you for the wisdom, intelligence, and leadership represented in this room. We thank you for your grace and your goodness. May your face continually shine upon us so that your ways may be known in our community. We ask that you would look with favor upon our community and that you protect our citizens and leaders. Please help us to be a blessing to others. We sincerely thank you for our civil servants, for their tireless work and selfless sacrifice. We pray for your continued blessings upon them, that you would grant them hearts filled with wisdom and discernment, enabling them to govern our community with skill and compassion. May their decisions be guided by your knowledge, leading to solutions, righteousness, and prosperity for our citizens. May you bestow greater understanding, knowledge, and power, empowering us to live wisely and serve our community selflessly. Let our community be a beacon of love and justice, where our love for one another brings hope, encouragement, and freedom to all. May our actions reflect our commitment to these values, and may they be a testament to your grace and goodness. We pray that we will experience a spirit of unity so that we all may work together for the good of this community and so that we may enjoy your blessings. May your presence be in this room today. In our Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You can follow me. We salute our nation's flag. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice. Okay, at this time, we'll go to unscheduled appearances. Any person can address the board at this time on any item on the agenda or any other item of interest to the public within the subject jurisdiction. 2 minutes are allowed. Do we have anybody lined up?
I do. The board did receive a letter from Dave Robinson. We received electronic correspondence, and that will become part of the permanent record. Our first speaker is Jonathan Brewster.
Mr. Brewster.
Morning, Chairman, board members. Just here for a couple of announcements. This past weekend, the DSA competed in a barbecue competition in Tulare County. We were the only Kings County public safety organization there. We competed against 14 others, and we took first place and won $5,000.
Any brought samples?
Well, I mean, we may give old Supervisor Neves a run for his money on barbecuing, but, you know, I mean, we're ready. So, I mean, But that 5,000 is gonna go to our scholarship fund that we host a golf tournament every year now. This year it's gonna be at the Country Club on July 1st. We've raised we've handed out almost $30,000 of worth of scholarships in the last 2 years. To my knowledge, we're the biggest scholarship fund in the county and pretty close to the valley, public safety wise, but just want to let you guys know that's what's going on with us right now. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Thank you. I know that Supervisor for goodness really likes his chicken.
Our next speaker is Sherry Toth.
Morning, Sherry. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Little nervous, but happy to be here. Can I give you guys something? Is that allowed or no?
Yeah, no, you can do
Okay.
it. Hand it to the clerk and she'll pass it to us, whatever you want to do.
I just want you to see the faces that we represent at Sensory Rock. I'm not good at public speaking, so please bear with me. I'm here about the homeless situation. I would like you to act accordingly to what is on the agenda. I believe in passing through the low-bearing wall. I'm not exactly sure what the verbiage, but I'm here to all acts and initiatives to mitigate our homelessness is what I'm in support of. And I believe that homelessness will not be cured. Therefore, it has to be managed with dignity and respect. My name is Sherry Toss, along with my husband, Jeff. We are the owners of Sensory Rock, located on 8th and Irwin. Sensory Rock is an ABA therapy company, which stands for Applied Behavior Analysis, that helps children of special needs, along with outreaching to all kids through field trips. And we are in the need for protection and change from our county and city, and we are in need of it now. I would like you to experience what it has been like for us by sharing a couple situations that can all be fact-checked by calls to and by our amazing Hanford Police Department, who have done so much to help us. I absolutely love our police department. When we purchased our building that was vacant over 5 years ago, that was vacant for at least 5 years or more, we took on a huge financial investment in our town, fixing HVAC, plumbing, and code, etc. We didn't realize that we would also have to manage homelessness, and they would ruin our porta potties, and we had to lock them, and then they had to end up putting them inside the building because it was just a mess and it was stinky. We're constantly battling our building through water source, power source, and cleanup from the homeless situation, and it's getting worse. Not only do we have to contend with that, but we also have to contend with situations. So please think, if you were in my shoes, about these situations. In the summer of 2021, we did a summer camp, and I partnered with an occupational therapist who believes in outside, that it's really beneficial for kids. So we had an outside camp as well as the inside recreation. A homeless woman came up to, and please pardon my French, I'm going to try to keep it as PG as possible, but she came up to my employee, Claire, and said, I can F your boyfriend better than you. I can give him better BJs, and continue to go on in front of children that were 4 years old to 8. We no longer can do outside activities because of this situation. I had a man expose himself to me and my employee, and did it purposely because we are a child center. I had a woman attack my car with my kids in it, and I called the police, and they told me I had to leave my parking lot so I could be safe. And I thought, what kind of world are we in that I can't be in my parking lot? We had a sexual predator that stayed outside utilizing our source for his cell phone, but he stayed and he would not leave. He is now incarcerated for life because he violated his probation, and the police officer called me needing a response. We have tweakers. We just have so many situations that I could go on, but I think you get the point. And so because this list goes on, it's exhausting. My staff dedicate themselves to helping the vulnerable, and that's the faces that I'd like you to see. We have a waiting list of over 90 to 100 kids that we cannot help because we need to get this situation resolved and keep everybody safe. So I want you to know that I appreciate our county and city men and women who dedicate their lives to a difficult position in protecting and serving. I have faith in you that you appreciate what we're doing and all the business owners that are in town. And I truly trust you that you will choose to change our situation because you know that homelessness cannot be cured, and it is your responsibility to manage something different, and trying something is the only choice you have. Thank you so much for your service and your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Toss. I know it's hard to tell those stories, but you've only been there, I believe, 4 years. So that's a lot of stories within 4 years. So we hear you, and we need more of those stories to get out. I don't think the general public understands how bad it is, but we need to promote business for downtown and take care of the taxpayers in our community. So thank you. Who?
The
Anybody
next- The next speaker is Salvador Flores or someone from the fire department.
Good morning, honorable board,
Good morning.
CEO Martinez, members of the public. We're just here to make an announcement. I know there's some inquiries about our station remodel that's happening at one of our stations. We want to make sure that the public was aware that our stations are not going anywhere, that we are doing our due diligence to improve some of these facilities. But the concerns of the public are our main concern as well. We want to make sure that you're all aware that our stations are staying put where they're at. And with that, I'll turn over to Matt to give an update of where our station is at in the improvement at Station 5.
Thank you.
Good morning, board. Thanks for the opportunity. We had a staff meeting yesterday, and during that staff meeting, we just wanted to make sure that we were getting out to the public that the community of Ramona is being taken care of. We have staffing there, and it's not the ideal situation, but they didn't hesitate. I really have to point out just how great our staff has been about dealing with adversity in a situation where there's a short transition period, and it's been really, really good. If you drive by Station 5, you'll see that it's not there anymore. There's a portion of it that's gone, and we are excited about that station. But we will be following up in every avenue that we can, but we wanted to make sure at the board meeting, we talked to you guys, and it got out to the public that our people are on that piece of property, and they are covering the community of Armona, because they know that that's our responsibility, and we never wavered from that responsibility. So please get the word out. We are there. They are there. Shout out to the guys, and thanks for hearing us.
Thank you for the update. I went by myself on Friday, and I was like, hey, what the heck happened here? I know we're doing a remodel, but I didn't think we were wipe it all out.
Yeah,
So-
they moved fast too.
Yeah.
They moved absolutely fast. So it's a blessing to watch it. That station is.
I look forward to, having it all back up and open and what they come up with. So
Absolutely,
it's a
absolutely.
long time coming. We've been working on that for at least 7 or 8 years. So
Mr. Chairman, can I ask him, you said they're on site, you guys have shelter?
Yeah, absolutely. We were
cool
able to get with the DA's office, and they're in a trailer for now. But you also see we've moved the portable facility that we had at Station 4. There's some things that need to happen as far as sewer and water and that kind of thing. We're working to get that done diligently. It will be done soon. But in the meantime, we've made it work.
There's the
And
ability
that's
to
it.
cool down. You
What's
have
that?
AC.
Absolutely. We have 2 facilities. Not only do we have the trailer that's there, but we also have our IS4 trailer as a backup. So again, it's not ideal, but I other than trying to get through this period of time, the suggestions that I've gotten from the guys have been nothing but, I mean, they've really stepped up. It's a testament to them.
you need help with permits, let me know. We can do it at night.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all that I am aware of, and no one online has their hand raised.
Hey, anybody in the audience like to add to that? Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, board members and chair. I just want to make a quick remark. It's more of a thank you to Supervisor Robinson. I know he shared that he did meet with some of our staff at Valley Voices as well as Armona residents a few weeks ago, and I wanted to give you an update. So when we had the meeting with Supervisor Robinson, it was due to Armona residents that we interact with on a weekly basis, sharing some concerns about infrastructure in Armona. And during that meeting, Supervisor Robinson was really receptive. He was taking notes. He was answering the questions he could answer right then. And since then, the response that we've had from those people that attended that meeting, as well as our Mona Community Services District meeting that he suggested they also attend, has been wonderful. I really want to extend a huge warm thank you to Supervisor Robinson for being that responsive. I believe in my job, I really try to cultivate that, be an engaged member of our county and attend board meetings and vote. So people feeling like they're being listened to, that helps me do my job, and that also keeps people in this community voting. And so I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us today? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is approval of minutes. Item A, report out of closed session from regular meeting, April 16th, 2024.
There's nothing to report.
That's the report. Item B, approval of the minutes from regular meeting, April 16th, 2024. Moved by
Second.
Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Valley. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Abstain.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Okay, 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Item passes. Move on out of consent calendar. I believe we're going to pull item B and discuss it separately. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss on the consent calendar?
Move as amended, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves. Second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Okay, consent calendar has been approved as amended, and we're going to go ahead now and do item B, administration. Matthew.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Matthew Boyette, Deputy County Administrative Officer, Kings County Administration. So recently, there's been a localized migration of the beetleaf hopper, which is a vector of the curly top virus, which is an extreme threat to tomato crops here in Kings County. And so this migration event has created conditions of immediate peril to the tomato crops here within our region. And so just for a little reference for you, so in 2021, the tomato crop in Kings County was approximately a little over 30,000 acres with a value of about 128 million. And in 2022, the crop was approximately just shy of 29,000 acres with a value of 177 million, which we don't have final numbers yet for 2023, but just to give you some reference over the last few years there. And so the declaration of a local emergency relaxes some of the regulatory requirements for the application of pesticides that are effective to combat the beetleaf hopper. So the full scope of the damage can't be determined with certainty at this time, but can be mitigated partially with the declaration that we have. And so pest control advisors have advised staff that the beetleaf hopper must be controlled to prevent crop failure here in the county. And so with that, due to the immediacy and the immediacy and extreme peril to the vital tomato crops here in Kings County, the emergency services, the Director of Emergency Services proclaimed the existence of a local emergency this past Friday on April 19th. And that was going to allow, which was actually allowed through the Kings County Code of Ordinances if your board isn't in session at that time. And so with that, such a proclamation needs to be ratified by your board within 7 days of that. So before you this morning, with the recommendation is to actually ratify that resolution proclaiming the existence of a local emergency due to the recent localized migration of the beetleaf hopper, a vector of the curly top virus. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, I just want to thank our Ag Commissioner, Jimmy Hook, for keeping us informed on this and making a call on Friday and giving a heads up about this. So thank you for the info as well, Mr. Boyette.
Yes, sir.
With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to make the motion.
Can I make a comment before we move to adopt? So the reason that was told from the agenda item is because there was a last minute request for a change to the resolution that had been previously published. And I just want to call that out. So the one that was previously published has been modified. A copy of the modification has been provided to your board and is available for the public. And a copy on the table right there. But it changed whereas number 7, just slightly. And so I've just called that out, and that's all I have to say on this matter.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Can I
Motion
think,
by Supervisor Valley?
Yeah, I'll second that, Mr. Chair. And this is a 60-day
Yes.
resolution. So, yeah, 60 days, we'll reevaluate. So, yeah, my second
Starts on
stance.
the day, you signed it? on
No, it'll, 60
Friday?
days from today.
Today.
A motion by Valley, second by Supervisor Neves. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley. Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson. Richard Fagundes.
Okay, 5 in favor. Thank you very much. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jimmy. We'll go on now to regular consent calendar. We go to the Behavioral Health Department, item A. Christie.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Supervisors. Christy Lepke, Deputy Director with Kings County Behavioral Health. I am before your board this morning to request approval of 2 items. The first is to request your approval of a subcontract agreement with the State Department of Healthcare Services, third-party grant administrator, Advocates for Human Potential, known as AHP, for receipt of the grant award for the Kings County Behavioral Health Bridge Housing Program. The Behavioral Health Bridge Housing Program was signed into law in September 2022 under Assembly Bill 179, providing funding through June 30th, 2027 to address immediate housing and treatment needs of people experiencing unsheltered homelessness who have behavioral health conditions, including serious mental illness and/or substance use disorder. Additionally, the passage of Senate Bill 1338, which established the Community Assistance Recovery and Empowerment Program, known as CARE Court or CARE Program, adds Section 5982B to the Welfare and Institutions Code to stipulate that CARE Program participants be prioritized for any appropriate bridge housing funded by the Behavioral Health Bridge Housing Program. Unlike an overnight emergency shelter, bridge housing is a short-term transitional housing with the aim of transitioning vulnerable clients out of homelessness to provide a short-term stable experience that can help facilitate placement into a more permanent housing solution. Bridge housing is often considered the missing link between a shelter system and a permanent housing solution. In addition to being a valuable building block in the county's preparation for the state-required CARE program, which will go live in Kings County by December 1st, 2024, on-site supportive services will also be a key component of this bridge housing to assist participants in becoming document-ready and prepared for access to sustainable, affordable, permanent supportive housing resources. In fiscal year 22-23, the Department of Healthcare Services released the Behavioral Health Bridge Housing Grant Opportunity, for which Kings County Behavioral Health submitted a grant application in collaboration with Kings Community Action Organization, which is here with me today. This application was awarded, and that agreement is what is before you today. Kings County Behavioral Health will be contracting with Kings Community Action Organization to pass through the grant for the implementation of the Bridge Housing Program, and that agreement will be brought before your board in the months to come. This subcontract agreement is retroactive due to negotiations between DHCS and its third-party grant administrator, AHP. However, no local reimbursable work has occurred until this agreement is executed, and an agreement has been executed between Kings County Behavioral Health and KCAO. The retroactive date of this agreement is at the direction of the grantor to be the date of the award letter. I respectfully request your board's approval of this agreement, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? I have a comment. You have a comment too?
Quick question,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So just trying to understand this, is that when you say shelter, are you talking hotel rooms or?
Yeah, for bridge housing, it's going to be hotel rooms. And so it can be it's temporary housing in whatever location can be established. And so for this, it's established at the Holiday Lodge. It'll be 27 units.
Okay, nothing in Corcoran?
Nothing in Corcoran at this time.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I've been getting some calls from 2 hotel owners in Corcoran. He says that the county's not sending any business that way anymore, as they have been over the past years, and so that's why I asked that question. So I don't know if this funding has to stay local to access to services, if that's something that prevents some business going to Corcoran, but can you just be aware of that?
Yes,
So
the
you're
grant
saying you want to
application.
send the homeless back to Corcoran?
No, I'm saying,
That's what I'm hearing.
So the grant,
Second, you got a motion on that?
the grant application is written for Holiday Lodge, but there is There's anticipated to be additional behavioral health bridge housing grants coming out, which we will go after, and we'll keep that in mind for possible expansion in Corcoran area.
Now, I was talking more of, because if I heard you right, it's a transition, not necessarily be homeless in the past, right? If somebody calls and says, I'm in need tonight for at least 2 to 3 days, and then they'd be put up in a hotel, and a lot of that, there was some business trickling down to Corcoran, hotel owners for that. So those are the calls that I'm getting about. So I'm trying to clarify this funding and what it's gonna, and how it's gonna roll out. So it sounds like it's just gonna stay here, and that's gonna be my answer to the people that I got to call back today.
Right. And bridge housing in this instance, so bridge housing is when individuals are entering into the supportive systems, a supportive housing system. And they may be at a shelter at first. They go into what's called the Homeless Management Information System, HMIS, which the local continuum of care operates, Homeless Alliance operates, with, I believe, Kings Tulare United Way. And in that, there's like a vulnerability assessment, and a lot of things are assessed for. And in that, they then, individuals are moved along then to transitional housing, whether it be transitional supportive housing, bridge housing. And really, this is to prepare people and getting them document ready. And so in the instance that your example that you're using, it seems like that might be best served through some of the assistance that HSA provides.
Yes.
But I would have to reach out because there's a vast array of kind of housing supports, and linked together, they kind of create that whole fabric of.
Last question, Mr. Chairman. So the board could be confident as far as this money, that there'd be no surprise debt coming back to us, in the such as what happened with FEMA 3 months ago, with the monies we put out to shelter homeless during the pandemic. And now, we're finding out we're probably going to be on the hook for $3 to $4 million of that. This money comes through, and if it goes through KCAO, that money is there until it's spent down.
Correct.
There's no county match, no waiting on reimbursements that we might not get.
Correct. This grant has already been garnered. In fact, they had reached out because it's an allocation that we could then draw down. And if we didn't draw that down, it would then be redistributed. So it's an allocation specific for Kings County. And we've already thought about the sustainability, because once the program and the grant funding runs out, Mental Health Services Act through Prop 1 is now going to have a bucket that's specific to housing. And that this can be sustained through that funding source.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further questions? Any direction?
It's just a quick one. So you said Holiday Lodge, 17 units is what you said?
27.
Oh, 27. And so are they for individuals, for families?
I believe they're for individuals at this time. Yeah. I don't believe that there's dual occupancy, right? In a dual occupancy.
Okay.
Look.
Move is presented, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves,
Second.
second by Supervisor Valley. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley. Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, item passes. Next
Thank
item.
you. The second item is to request your board's approval for an amendment to the agreement Kings County Behavioral Health has with the State Department of Healthcare Services for the county mental health plan. The department's mental health plan contract with DHCS is required by the state to participate in the Medi-Cal program. The Medi-Cal program is the California Medicaid program administered by DHCS to provide healthcare services to low-income individuals and families. A mental health plan provides and arranges for the provision of specialty mental health services to Medi-Cal plan members to address mental health needs and treatment for those experiencing significant impairment due to severe mental illness or serious emotional disturbance, as identified through clinical assessment and evaluation. The MHP contract between Department of Healthcare Services and Kings County Behavioral Health specifies terms and conditions to allow for the provision of these specialty mental health services for all eligible Medi-Cal plan members in Kings County. Services covered through this contract include mental health therapy, case management, medication support, crisis intervention, inpatient psychiatric services. On September 13th, 2022, the board approved the Department of Healthcare Services MHP contract with Kings County Behavioral Health, authorizing the Director of Kings County Behavioral Health to sign the agreement and any amendments to agreement number 22159 for the term of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2027. On February 23rd, 2024, the Department of Healthcare Services released to county mental health plans and an amendment to the MHP contract requiring execution by April 23rd, 2024. The amendments to the contract are primarily to add and revise language to reflect the array of changes brought forth by the California Advancing and Innovating Medi-Cal program, known as CalAIM, as well as to change terminology from Medi-Cal beneficiaries to Medi-Cal plan members. The term of this agreement is retroactively effective from July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2027. This item is being presented retroactively due to the requirement from Department of Healthcare Services to amend the current agreement, maintaining the full term. Additionally, Department of Healthcare Services requires an approved resolution and board minute order from the board, which approves and authorizes execution of this amendment and authorizes the Director of Kings County Behavioral Health to sign. I respectfully request your board's approval of this amendment and am available for any questions.
Thank you, Christie. Any questions or comments? Moved by Supervisor Fagundes, second by Supervisor Neves. I have one comment or question. I know we always prove this money and retroactively and all that kind of stuff. I would like to, in the future, maybe get a report of how we've helped out somebody. You know, we did this back in COVID. We put the Holly Lodge, we filled that place up with people. We put people at the Triangle Gardens at that Sunset Sunset Apartment. And it'd be nice to know that we actually prevented people from becoming homeless. We had a comments from the public. We're talking about, you know, severe abuse to our businesses downtown. I know these aren't the same people, correct? But we kept them from becoming any worse. I'd like to see some kind of report in the future of what good things we've done. Because all we hear in the news is how we're throwing money at the homeless. They're not helping us. They're not helping them. We're just paying them to stay off the streets or just take care of them. So any kind of report back to what we did that was showing that was good and good faith by us, that we did the right thing. I'd like to see that too. I know it's not just behavioral health, but it's also HSA, because HSA deals more with the severely homeless, correct?
I believe that we have a shared responsibility, and so I'm not sure if they do any more so that we all do it together. And so, yeah, we can definitely bring back an evaluation periodically of the bridge housing.
Once a year, what,
Okay.
you know, if we gave $2.3 million to the homeless, what did we get in return for our public?
Agreed.
Okay. Thank
Agreed.
you. We have a motion and a second.
And I think the Mental Health Services Act update we're going to see in the next month, that we're going to put a lot of numbers to that.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
the plan.
so, and I think that is right now currently published on the website.
Correct. It's for public post and public comment. The Mental Health Services Act fiscal year 24-25 plan update is on there, and it has an evaluation of some of the housing supports that are already in our Mental Health Services Act plan to show that how many individuals have been housed. So for instance, about I think 54 individuals have been assisted with housing through the assertive community treatment and full service partnership adult programs.
Yeah, I want to hear a story where we help somebody get back on their feet, not just stay there.
Yeah, there's quite a few. And then with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I think you'll see a lot more stories between now and the 15th.
Correct. And I also attend the Kings County Homeless Collaborative, and they are preparing their annual report to come before the Board of Supervisors, and they're collecting many of the success stories that the various partners on that collaborative have witnessed. And so there will be stories in that as well, in addition to the administrative efforts and outcomes through that collaborative.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and the drop-in center is always open over there if you want a chili dog or Frito boat. They usually have pretty good.
Do I look like I need a Frito boat?
Have a locale.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson. Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Okay, I'm in favor. Thank you.
Thank
Christie.
you.
We will now to the district attorney's office, and we have Sarah Hacker. Morning, Sarah.
It's good to see everybody this morning, and I'm hoping everybody's having a great April. Today, I'm coming before you to ask this board to accept or proclaim April 21st through April 27th, 2024 as Victims' Rights Week. This is an opportunity for us to honor the lives that we have lost, as well as offer healing for those who are still here. This year's theme is How Can We Help? And I would like to jump off that theme to introduce my victim witness crew because they are the people that truly bring the help to those who need it most. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce you to Shanna Meyer. She just joined us September of last year. She is our coordinator. Mercedes, Caitlin, Lisa, and Beverly are all our advocates. They work tirelessly. They make themselves available at all times. They go out into the community and provide outreach, giving services to those who need it most and the times that are most desperate to them. So tonight we will be having a candlelight vigil as well as a quilt unveiling. This is a night for us to honor the 10 people that we have lost in Kings County over the last year. Just to give you a few statistics, our oldest victim was 82, who had been terribly murdered, and our youngest victim was 15, who was shot. We have 1 vehicular manslaughter victim, as well as 9 homicides. Of the 10 that we are going to be honoring, 2 of them are unsolved homicides. The towns that are represented in the 10 are Hanford, Stratford, and Avenel. Thank you. And I ask that you proclaim April 21st to April 27th as Victims' Rights Week.
Thank you, Sarah. Any questions or comments?
So move it, Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson. Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
5 in favor. We have proclaimed April 21st to 27th as a Victim Crime Week. Thank you. And what time your event start tonight?
The doors open at 5:30 and the service starts at 6 p.m. and it's going to be held at Koinonia Church. I invite each and every one of you to attend and take part of the healing process.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, move on now to item C, District Department of Finance. Tammy, good morning, Tammy. How are you?
Chair, members of the board. Tammy Phelps, Kings County Department of Finance, Assistant Director. We have received a request from the South Fork Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency for a property tax advance loan. So we're before report this morning requesting approval of the property tax advance loan agreement with the South Fork Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency to assist in meeting current operating expenses and cash flow needs pending receipt of direct assessment payments. Also, we'd like you to adopt a resolution approving the temporary transfer of funds to the South Fork Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency to assist in meeting current operating expenses and cash flow needs pending receipt of direct assessment payments and directing the county treasurer to make such transfer. A little bit of background. California Constitution Article 16, Section 6 allows the county to make such temporary transfers. Such transfers of funds shall not exceed 85% of the anticipated revenues accruing to such political subdivisions and shall be replaced from revenues accruing before any other obligations are met with such revenues. Temporary transfers cannot be made after the last Monday in April, which will be this coming April 29th. The agency has requested a temporary transfer of funds pursuant to the California Constitution, Article 16, Section 6. The request will enable the agency to meet current operating expenses pending the receipt of property tax payment. The funds advanced may only be used to meet maintenance and operating expenses. No part of this loan may be invested. The amount advanced will be repaid with interest at a rate equivalent to the average rate of return currently earned in the county treasury pool. And I should have mentioned the dollar amount is $440,454 is the request. The agency passed Proposition 218 election on February 29th, 2024, which will allow the agency to assess direct assessment to the property owners within its boundaries. Typically, direct assessments are provided to the county for inclusion in the property tax bills in August. Because of the timing of the passing of the proposition, 2018 election, the agency will not have access to this revenue until at least the first property tax revenue allocation in December 2024, as the first charges will not be assessed until fiscal year 24-25 tax bills. This advance will address the timing issues and allow the agency to continue operating until funds are allocated. The county previously billed on behalf of the agency in fiscal year 22-23 at the same rate as the upcoming assessment rate, which resulted in approximately $600,000 in revenue. Of the total amount billed, the county received payments totaling approximately 97% of billings. Given this collection rate, it is anticipated that collections will be more than sufficient to repay the amount of the advance loan requested. This is subject to payment habits of property tax owners, of course. However, staff are confident the total amount will be repaid with the upcoming fiscal year's collection in December of 2024 or April 2025 at the latest. The Director of Finance, acting as both the Auditor Controller and Treasurer Tax Collector for the county, has verified the amount of anticipated tax revenue and has asserted that sufficient funds exist within the county to provide this temporary advance loan to the agency. This advance loan will have no negative fiscal impact as the total amount will be recovered with interest. However, the funds will be temporarily unavailable to the county. This agreement and resolution has been reviewed and approved by County Council as to form.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, comments, explanation?
Yeah, a couple of questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I don't have an issue with it. One, we did something very similar to this back, I think, in 2011, 2012.
Corcoran District Hospital.
Corcoran District Hospital, where
Yeah.
we advanced them, I think, over $1 million, and I think we did that about 3 times. But my question is that with the hospital, since they get a revenue out of the property taxes where they would get a check, there was that protective layer where if they didn't pay back, we just withheld monies that were due to them. There's not a protective layer with this loan?
There is a protective layer.
Okay.
Because they passed the 2018 election, they can assess the property owners within their jurisdiction. That money comes through the treasury. Our property tax collectors collect that money. It's an assessment that's put on the property tax bills. So that money, the repayment funds won't even go back to the agency. It'll come straight through the treasury and we'll recoup it.
Same as Corcoran Hospital cycle. So then what that leads me to, do you remember off the top of your head if we charge the hospital interest?
I believe we did. I believe it was at the treasury rate. That's generally the way we do things because what will happen is they'll, I believe we're doing, and Rob can attest to this, but we're doing a transfer in this case. I don't know if we did with the Corcoran District Hospital, but what happens is the money that they would have had in the treasury, it actually just goes negative. So they get a negative interest allocation, which is the same interest rate as everybody else is earning as a positive, but they're earning it as a negative, which leads to the interest payment. Does that make
Okay.
sense? I hope that makes sense.
Yes, well, I just wish we knew for sure, because if we didn't charge the hospital district interest because of that protective layer, then I would hope, I'd rather we just didn't charge interest on this, since this is monies they would get either way.
I don't believe that we're allowed not to charge interest, but I can go back and verify that for you. I don't think we came up and said, we're going to charge them 1% above the treasury rate or 3% exactly. But it would have been just as part of being a part of the treasury, when you go negative, you get negative interest charged. So I believe that's the way it happened, but I will verify that and get back to you.
All right, thank you.
And this is only 7 months ahead of when they get their money. anyway.
Right,
And they
correct.
need to be operational, especially right now. This year is very important that they meet regularly and come up with a plan so we get the state off our back. So it's important. And it's not the full amount. They're just asking for part of it, correct?
Correct. It's not the full 85% of their, what we could actually charge them. They came up with a dollar amount that they
Yeah, so
needed.
they're going to receive December 10th and April 10th of 2025. So, but it'll be ongoing. They're going to need money every day. So they need to get started. And it's a poor district. So
Understand.
any other questions?
The only other thing, Mr. Chair, because of the passage on the leap year, February 29th, we are doing some independent assessments. So we're going to receive 25% of the assessment to be able to cover that fiscal year. And that's why the full amount is not requested.
Okay.
And so we anticipate of collecting somewhere around $150,000 to $170,000 in
Special assessment.
without going through the county.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not that the fee payers are not going to pay. It's not that we're not going to hold them, accountable. But that's just not why we didn't request the whole 85% that we are entitled to or could request, because we do anticipate some revenue not collected by the county.
Very good. Okay. Have a motion? More question? Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Okay, 5 in favor. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on now to board member announcements and reports. Supervisor Robinson.
Oh, let's see, last week Supervisor Verboon, CAO Martinez and Deputy CAO Boyette and I were at CSAC, which is California State Association of Counties. We met with Senator Hurtado's office, the Chief of Staff Aaron Briano, discussed water, road reimbursements, and a number of other issues. Also at the conference, we discussed water, retail theft, California's insurance crisis, wildfires. Speakers included Speaker Assembly Leader Robert Rivas and Speaker Pro Tem Mike McGuire. And then yesterday we met with Fire Chief. Sir.
Thank you. Supervisor Valley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to report, I got to spend the last couple of days in Las Vegas for our 8th
You better than
annual
Clark County.
Clark County, Nevada. Yeah, our 8th annual reunion of the unit that I served with and during my 6 years in the Marine Corps, and got the ability at the reunion. We had a presentation, the YouTube video on the 5 Pillars of Freedom. We got to play that and talk about that and just spread the word about the 5 Pillars of Freedom here in Kings County and there at the Corcoran Gateway Park. So that felt really good to do. And then lastly, just want to remind everybody of be sure to support Jose Ramirez this Saturday, Save Mart Center. He's back and fighting there on DAZN. If you can't be there, I think it's $20 subscription on DAZN to watch Jose do his thing. And so we wish him a lot of luck. And I'm not sure if Scott Howell over in our Corcoran Veterans Department has any of the free voucher tickets that Jose sent a couple of weeks ago for folks here. But if you're interested, reach out to Scott's people. I think last count there was about 150 vouchers left. So with that, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. The 5 Pillars of Freedom, their year anniversary will be Monday.
29th, the 29th, yeah.
Supervisor Fagundes.
I'm good.
Supervisor Neves.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kathy and I attended the Sir Optimus International of Hanford Live Your Dream Awards Banquet. Very nice food. Wonderful evening of honorees and their families. Women Helping Women Award went to the Cinderella Project that helped prom dresses to be able to attend proms at through the Hanford High System. Educator of the Year went to Laura Lutz, who is the educator at the Burris Park Foundation. So if you've not had an opportunity to go through that, they will see a little over 10,000 students this year going through that foundation program, and she's doing a wonderful job. Candace and Company was received the Outstanding Community Partner Award, and there were also a lot of scholarships handed out to students pursuing their academic careers. I want to thank Supervisor Valley for sitting in on the special LAFCO meeting that was held on Wednesday, the 17th. The Sphere of Influence was up for discussion with the city of Hanford. There were several questions and was tabled till June 26th. So that item will come back as we work with the community to resolve some of the issues. The LAFCO budget was presented and the public hearing open. So that public hearing period is open now. until May 22nd. Kathy and I, as well as Supervisor Fagundes, attended the Kim Eggert retirement. There were plenty of sugary treats there, and I could tell my sugar the next morning. They stayed on my hips, so we're gonna have to work on that a little bit. And then went on to announce softball at Lemoore High. The game went 10 innings, and the Tigers won with a walk-off home run. The Kings County Behavioral Health meeting met yesterday, and we did discuss the Mental Health Services Act fiscal year plan update. That plan is published, so if you get a chance to look at it, it will come before this board May, Christmas. And so if you want to get a kind of a jump on homework on that, as well as received updates on the other programs going through. I also had the pleasure of meeting with the chief yesterday. Certainly want to thank you very much. And then I just want to thank County Council, Jimmy Hook, Abe, Chief Flores, as well as the growers and the PCAs that all work together to work on the beet leaf hopper and the curly top virus that affects not only Kings County, but Kern and Fresno, and not only affects growers, but affects the trucking industry, processors, and eventually the consumer when those tomato products don't make it to the shelf. And it also affects homeowners. So if we can protect and create a buffer zone for those homeowners, because this curly top virus affects plants. And so it's important that we continue to do this and to work with the industry to make sure that we can all work together. So with that, thank you very much.
I don't think the state realizes how bad when they affect one control of a product, it keeps a domino effect to everybody else. So and pretty soon we can't control it at all. Then we're in worse shape than we were before. Thank you, Supervisor Valley, for filling in for LAFCO. And thank the board for having a meeting without me on Tuesday. I was at the State Water Resource Control Board meeting. The county was put on probation after hearing testimony from all 5 GSAs and some of the residents. What that means is the state will be here for a year. They have access to staff members to each GSA. 5 staff members have been dedicated to each GSA for consulting purposes and keep them pointed in the right direction. All wells need to be registered with a $300 fee. There will be and you don't have to have a well meter on your well unless you pump more than 500 acre feet per well. And so I would recommend everybody get a meter on their well just to prove that you don't pump more than 500 acre feet, but it's not mandatory. And the accounting period starts July 1st. And then today we have Mid-King GSA public hearing from 1 till 3 at Conia Church. And they're going to count their ballots for 218. And then also if people propose went against the ordinance to do a $95 extraction fee. Plus on the state one, $20 per acre foot extraction fee you have to pay. And everybody is included equally until we get a GSP that works for the whole entire county. And you got a lot of personalities, a lot of different ways of farming. So we got to come together as one. So that was on Tuesday. So with that, we'll go ahead and go to Flood Seats Act, which was very frustrating, but Rusty represented, so we're good. Board member announcement? No. What are we doing?
Correspondence.
Correspondence.
Yes, thank you, Supervisor. So the board received correspondence from the Women with Vision Unlimited dated April 17th regarding a sponsorship request. The board received correspondence on April 22nd from the Waste Management regarding the Kettleman Hills Facility 9th Annual Information Meeting taking place Wednesday, May 1st. And lastly, the board received email correspondence dated Monday, April 22nd from Sheriff Dave Robinson regarding public comment and public safety compensation packages that is available online. For upcoming events, the Kings County DA's office Victim Witness Assistance Program will host its annual quilt unveiling in support of National Crimes Victims' Right Week tonight from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Kings County Behavioral Health will host its Veterans Support Group tonight, Tuesday, April 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Veterans Memorial Hall in Hanford. And Kings County Library will host its movie time at the Avenel Branch Library this Wednesday, April 24th from 3 to 5. And Public Health will host its ongoing blood drive to Thursday, May 2nd, next to the old sheriff's office. Registration is still open online for all those who registered. There will be a raffle for a $25 gift card. Kings County Library will host its spring book sale on Saturday, May 4th from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Hanford Branch Library. And lastly, Kings County Behavioral Health will host its family member support group on Tuesday, May 7th from 5:30 to 7:30 here at the Kings Building located on campus. For upcoming agenda items for April 30th, administration has two: a resolution proclaiming Public Service Recognition Week and health insurance renewals for next year. Ag has an item to authorize Ag Commissioners to sign an agreement with the California Crop Improvement Association. Behavioral Health has two items, one with the California Mental Health Services Agreement Authority for a Peer Support Specialist Amendment and agreement with the Source LGBT Center. Human Resources has one item regarding the Fire Association MOU. Human Services, two items in agreement with the Jump Technology for Adult Protective Services Case Management System and a Kings County 5-year system improvement plan for California work opportunities to kids in California outcomes and accountability review. Health has four items: real-time allocated budget change, an amendment to the Kings Homelessness Collaborative bylaws, an HIV care program, and solid waste grant application. And lastly, Public Works has four items: a surplus vehicle equipment declaration, road division purchase of a patch truck, an agreement for county surveyor services, and another surplus vehicle. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll go ahead and go into closed session, conference with labor negotiator and negotiator Karen Martinez, Carolyn Lee, Jay Johnson, Liberty Cassidy Whitmore, to all units that are on the document here. And then next meeting will be Tuesday, April 30th, and 11 a.m. We'll be back here with California Public Finance Authority and then in-home supportive services. Thank you for coming.